Hey guys, Rexasaur here and welcome to another video as part of my series of Total War Warhammer lore, where in this episode we're going to talk about the Night Goblins. This is because CA have released a trailer for Night Goblins, talking a little bit about their lore, but I wanted to go a little more in depth with how it is. Also, I'm going to do another 3 videos after this, which will be coming out over the weekend. This includes part of what I think is probably going to be in the game. This includes another one of the legendary lords, Warlord Snarsik, which has not been officially announced, but I think is probably a very good contender for the legendary lord slot for the Orcs and Goblins. So who are the Night Goblins? Well, the Night Goblins are a strain of goblins who live underground, mostly in the World Edge Mountains next to the Dwarf Holds, on the border of the Empire and of Sylvania. Night Goblins hate light in all forms, and they only ever leave their mountains in the blackest of nights, and if they ever have to leave the mountains, then they will do it wearing the blackest robes to save their skin from the searing sunlight. Night Goblins have a love of mushrooms and other poisonous substances of fungi, which they use for simple things such as food, medicine, or baits for catching cave squigs, which are basically big blobs of teeth and destruction, which they ride into battle sometimes to much of the annoyance of their enemies. They also use it for manifesting their magic. The Shamans of the Night Goblins are the most feared of all Goblin Shamans because of this love of mushrooms. They know how to brew the right mushrooms to make potent potions to fulfill their needs, whether that is giving it to a Night Goblin to swing a large ball and chain around to kill absolutely everyone on his path, or if it's to manifest a very strong magical spell. The Night Goblins have a long-standing enmity with the Dwarves since they live in the same mountain regions. That leads to a lot of wars and a lot of battles over the Dwarf Holds, as well as where the Goblins live as well, when the Dwarves want to go on an expedition to destroy the Goblins who have set up in the mountains near to their homes, or just want to reclaim an old carrack that they may have lost. There's also a similar enmity towards the Skavens, who also live in the mountain. The biggest clan of the Skaven who live in the mountain are Clan Moors, who are very well known in the Skaven lore to have attacked the dwarves a lot and actually used the Night Goblins, tempted them, bribed them, maybe trapped them into attacking the dwarves. And once the dwarves had been so tired and they've lost all the ammunition to destroying the Goblin army, they're elated by their victory. The Skaven descend on them and with minor losses manage to take a carrack. So the Night Goblins have several major clans, but the biggest clan of them all is the Crooked Moon, led by Goblin Warlord Snarsik and his trusty squig Gobber, who will be talking obviously in a next video. But he is the biggest of the Night Goblin Warlords and the biggest Night Goblin clan. He is known as the King of Carrack 8 Peaks after a large battle taking the Carrack 8 Peaks, believe it or not. So what can you expect from a Night Goblin roster? Well, I did go a little bit into this during the Orcs and Goblins video, but Night Goblins are quite a hefty part of the lore, and compared to the other Goblins, they're actually quite a different kind of roster than you would expect. Night Goblins have things such as spearmen and archers, as you would normally see in any army, but they also carry things such as Goblin Squig Riders. Squigs, in the tabletop anyway, are very powerful, not only because they carry a big punch. They are basically Night Goblin cavalry to an extent, but because they have this sort of hopping mechanic where they can hop long distances without any problems. They've also got very sharp teeth and do quite a lot of damage despite having barely any kind of armor. There's also obviously the Night Goblin Fanatic, the big one, as a lot of people would say. Night Goblin Fanatics are hilarious because they hide in a unit and then they get triggered and sent out to swing around and destroy everything. If you watch CA's Night Goblin trailer, you'll see that during the animation where they've got all the Night Goblins frozen, you have a Fanatic in the middle. The Fanatic just spins around and kills everyone. No discrimination over who dies, it will be everyone in the path. And I think that will be one of the most interesting mechanics in the Night Goblin roster, if that's included, which it most likely will be if it has been animated. Another thing that's very, very powerful in the Night Goblin roster will be the Shamans. Night Goblin Shamans, as I've said before, are the most powerful and the most feared of the Night Goblin wizards, or any kind of Goblin wizard, mostly because of this mushroom habit. And I do want to see, and I hope that there will be some kind of mushroom, maybe equipment or cooldown ability that Night Goblin Shamans can use. Maybe if they have the range of 3 different mushrooms instead of spells, one to make his spells more potent, maybe, or give a mushroom to a unit of Night Goblins to make their attacks more frenzied, or things like that. Or maybe even another one to prevent the magic of a enemy from happening. Maybe a vial of mushroom poison that he can throw at an enemy unit, which will reduce their morale, or reduce their fighting, or make them really slow, something like that. Now, Night Goblins don't actually have any spiders or any wolves. This is something that the Forest Goblins kind of have. But I don't think that Forest Goblins will be part of an actual self-army. There's no legendary lords for Forest Goblins, whilst there is for Night Goblins, which is why I think Night Goblins might be a set army within the Orcs and Goblins side of Total War Warhammer. Now, this, of course, is just speculation. I'm not in the know with CA. They don't give me anything. I'm going literally off what I know from the Warhammer lore, and also what I've seen in the trailers that they've been showing. Do I think that a Night Goblin Legendary Lord would be a great thing? Yes, I think Night Goblins are awesome. I know definitely, well, we've seen that they've got animations for Night Goblins, so they obviously are going to be in the game. Whether or not they'll be mercenaries, whether or not they'll be part of the main roster, whether or not they'll be separate battles, where you have proper Night Goblin armies as well as proper Orc armies separate, whether or not when you pick your faction, your Legendary Lord, you'll be able to recruit Orcs, or you'll be able to recruit Night Goblins, I have no idea. This is very possible. A Night Goblin start will definitely be in the mountains, so that means there will be a lot of fighting against the dwarves. Will the Night Goblins also have the similar thing that the dwarves have, where they can do underground battles? I don't know. It's very possible. It would be most likely that they would. Night Goblins would definitely have a holding in the World Earth's mountain and do an underground battle there, should it come to that. But other than that, this is all speculation. I have no idea. But I hope that this video helped you sort of find out a little bit more about the Night Goblins, put you a bit more into perspective into what they actually are, what they do. And the next video will be about the potential Legendary Lord, Warlord Snarsig, and his trusty Gobba. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and stay tuned for the next 3 episodes of Total War Warhammer lore, which will be coming over the next few hours/day. Yeah, thank you very much.